everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm Autumn and I am the owner of 6, soon to be 7 guinea pigs, and today I am completely redoing my guinea pig room once again. Alright, so tomorrow I am going to pick up my 7th guinea pig, so I have to rearrange my room to be the way that I want to fit all 3 of my herds. I have a herd of 2 females, 3 females, and then soon to be 2 males. I'm gonna have them do some side-by-side living for a bit, so I have to rearrange the room in order to make space for the 2 boys to live side by side on the floor. So today is sort of the first step in that. I'll show you guys what the room looks like right now. I have my 2 girls on a table up against the wall, my 3 girls on the floor, and my single male on the table in the right corner. I'm gonna sort of change this around. I'm gonna move my 3 girls up onto a table, my male onto the floor, and the other male will also be on the floor. That way the males won't be able to see the females since the females will be on the table. They probably won't be able to smell them from that far away, and they certainly will not be able to get up there and accidentally impregnate anybody because all the girls will be on the tables and all the boys will be on the floor. So no pregnancies will be happening on my watch. I cannot do more guinea pigs, so I've sort of designed this plan. I'll show you guys a picture of what the plan looks like on the screen. It may be a little bit hard to understand. I spent hours and hours and hours on this like online graph paper, redoing my room over and over and over, just trying to figure out a way that was cheap, where I can get all the girls on tables but not have to spend a fortune on tables, and then make sure that I have enough space for my desk as well. And so I think I finally have a plan, and today I'm gonna do sort of the first phase of the plan, which is just getting my 3 girls onto the table and getting everybody where they need to be. And then probably sometime next week or in the following weeks, I'm going to be building them coroplast bottoms for the cages, bonding the males, building new coroplast cages for them, and that's all gonna be in this one video. So you guys are gonna get to see it all at once. For me, it's gonna take me weeks and weeks to get this room perfect, but I'm so excited, and yeah, hopefully you guys are excited as well. I know I've changed this room quite a few times already. The first time I changed it, you guys can see that video there if you want. And then I also changed it up again when I adopted my 6th guinea pig, Sage. If you wanna see her adoption video and my room changes then, I'll link that video up there as well. So this is my 3rd and hopefully final time of reorganizing this room. I think I finally have it the way that I want. It took me forever and ever to come up with a plan. But yeah, I don't want to make this intro too long. So basically today I bought a new table for the girls, and I'm going to use one of these 4-foot tables, and I bought a slab of melamine, I believe that's how you pronounce it, at Home Depot. Had it cut for me. That's gonna go on top of that table to make it wider, to be same as the table I bought. It's gonna make more sense when you see me doing it, but I also just want to tell you guys that I bought this, which is melamine tape to go along the coarse edges of the melamine so that they are white like the melamine. Again, it'll make more sense when you see it. And then I also bought more zip ties, and then I'm just gonna reuse the grids I have. I didn't buy any more grids. I'm hoping that I just have enough grids. I haven't done the exact math, but it looks like I have enough grids. So we're just sort of gonna go for it. The first step, I'm going to be taking my trio of girls out of the room, as well as my male. I'm gonna leave my 2 females in their cage on that table in there. Just move the table around, they'll probably be fine. I don't have enough playpens to get everybody out at the same time anyway. So I'm just gonna be moving out my trio of females and then my male into playpens in my living room so that I can focus on fixing the mess that is in this room. Floor is so incredibly messy. There is just hay and poo and random fleece, clean and dirty, just laying all over the floor. So it's time to get to work on this room. As you can see, it's nighttime. It's like 8 p.m., but we're starting this today and I'm getting this done, and I'm just so excited about it. So let's just go ahead and get going. All right, so it's actually really hard to get an angle of the entire room, but we're gonna be starting over here, and I'm gonna be getting Waffle's cage out of the room and just putting it out in the living room yet again, because these tables are not going to be staying here. They're going to be moving. Only one of these tables is going to be staying in the room. So I need to get all of his stuff out of here. This is the piece of melamine I was talking about. I'm going to be taking this edge stuff and just applying it to the edge that's going to be facing the room. You just use an iron to apply it. I don't really care about the other sides because you're not going to be able to see them. So I'm just going to be doing the one side for now, just putting the covering on that so you don't see the raw wood. This clean white edge here. This edge is going to be facing out. So the reason that I bought this is to put it on top of this table, because as you can see, these tables have a bit of a height difference and also are not the same width. So this will make both the tables be this 2.5 foot width, and that way I can do one huge cage for my trio along this back wall. And then I bought a second table, and that will go here for these two girls. And then my desk will be moved to this side of the room. And then the new boy, he comes with a 2x4 cage is what she has him in. So his 2x4 will fit perfectly under this table. And then Waffle's cage will be under the other table that will be going there. And then they can see each other through the bars there. And yeah, that's the plan for right now. So next step is to get this on top of here, and then to get my boyfriend in here to help me move my ginormous, really heavy desk. All right, so you can see now that they're the exact same height. It was 3/4 of an inch difference, and this is 3/4 of an inch thick, which works amazing to make them the same height. And then it only sticks out by a couple inches on each side. And it's a little bit short of the wall, but I knew that my room was just a little bit more than 10 feet. So this is 4 feet, and this table is 6 feet. So the trio is gonna have a 2 CNC grid by a mix of both the Midwest and the CNC grids to make it this long. I think it'll probably end up being 22 square feet, 23, it's something like that, but plenty of room for them. It's gonna be so great to just have them be able to run this far. I'm really excited about it. They've had a cage that many square feet, but not like as wide and as long, so it's gonna be really exciting. So like I said, next step, this is all good, the iron's cooling down, looks great. Next step is to move my desk from this side to this side. All right, here it is. As you can see, it is literally so
long. What I did is I used 5 of the 14-inch CNC grids and then one 24-inch Midwest grid on either end. So I'm not going to do the math. I'll put it on the screen, but I'll put the length in inches and feet and the square footage and all of that. But basically this is just what was going to fit the tables with using the grids that I had. So this is what I did. Most of them are zip tied. A couple of them have these. It's really not as stable as I would like. I'm gonna have to see if they can like push it off the table. I'm a little worried because it's so long. It's not that stable. Like when their cages are smaller, like Waffles is only 3 grids, so he can't really push it off the table, but this is so long. So I'm gonna have to monitor them for a bit. I am going to be building a coroplast bottom within the next week, so this won't be for very long, but this is a new fleece. Isn't it amazing? I love this fleece. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab them. I'm gonna put them in. I'm so excited. I'm just gonna put them in with only a couple hides, let them like roam around and stuff, and then we'll just see how they like it. I'm pretty excited. All right, so my camera's about to die, but I'm just gonna basically just put everything in the cage, and then I'll come back after I've charged my battery and show you guys. But for now, I added this little canopy. This is from Fur Baby Fleece on furbabyfleece.com. She sent it to me and it is absolutely amazing. She made it so it would fit the 2 CNC grids, so it's just gonna be really nice for them to go and hide under here, and it matches this fleece so well. So I put that over there, and then I'm gonna add more hides in here, and then I'll get back to you when I am done charging my camera. All right, so I finished setting up the girl's cage, and what I did was I added these support beams with these black grids. So I added 3, one in the middle and one on each end, and this way these cannot be pushed out like they could be before. I was getting really concerned that if all 3 of them put their paws up, that it would come forward, especially where it's just with zip ties. So I added these support beams. They're really ugly. I really hate them, but they're gonna have to work because they're gonna keep the cage from coming off the table until I'm able to build a coroplast base for it. So that's good. I really like the way it came out. I think the color scheme, like I said, I love this fleece, and I think it looks really great. They seem to be loving it. I wish I'd gotten more footage, but my camera was dying, but they were like popcorning and everything and running up and down, especially Pepper. She was doing so many popcorns, just literally running up and down the cage. So I think they're really gonna love it. It's a really great length, and it also is 2 grids wide. So that's a bit wider than they had in their Midwest. So it was time to get rid of the double Midwest. So that's been their cage since they bonded as a trio. This is the first time they've moved cages as a trio, and I mean, I think they're loving it, and I'm sure I'm gonna get some more footage tomorrow when it's, you know, not 11 p.m. at night. But for now, here it is. And now it's time to move Mr. Waffles into the room. I'm sure he's sat out in the living room with a party happening in here. But I'm gonna put his cage right here, and then like I said, my new boy tomorrow, his cage will go under that table and they can meet through the bars right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the stuff for his cage. Alright, it's a mess in here, but this is where I'm leaving you guys for tonight because I have to be up early for work tomorrow, and I don't have it in me to clean this. So I'll get back with you guys tomorrow after work. Before I go pick up the new pig, I'll be cleaning this out and everything. So it's a fresh start, all of that. I'm realizing that with Waffle's cage being this wide and the new boy, his cage is gonna go right here. It's gonna be really, really hard to clean the back. I don't know, I might just have to live with it for a week, like struggling to clean in that back corner. I don't really know what the plan is. I don't really know how else to do Waffle's cage. Yeah, so I'll get back with you guys tomorrow when it's time to clean up this huge mess. All right, everyone, welcome back to the mess that is currently my pig room. I don't know what to say. It's so messy. I'm going to pick up my new boy in just a little bit, so hopefully I can get this into some sort of level clean before I have to leave. I don't really know, but I'm gonna try my best. I definitely have to clear out the space for him back there. So yeah, this is just me doing more cleaning of all the guinea pig poo on my floor that I'm currently sitting in. So yeah, let's get that cleaned up. So I have to leave now to go get the new pig, but I was able to do pretty much all of the cleaning, all of the intense vacuuming that will be loud for him. So that's good. I'll just have to reorganize when I get back. But yeah, I'm about to go out and get him. So I'll give you guys more room updates after I have him back. All right, so I'm just back with a little update on the room. As you can see, I have the new boy right over here. And then I redid Waffle's cage so that it fits under this table, so that it can get close to the other boy's cage. They can meet right through the bars, and so I can have an easier time cleaning the girls up here. I didn't show the construction of Waffle's cage because it's literally only temporary. I'm gonna redo the boy's cage, obviously. So this is sort of what it looks like. My desk is a mess, but the girls' cage is on the back wall, other girls over here, and the boys right now are separate on the floor. But next step is probably after they're bonded to build them a new cage, and then to finally give the girls a coroplast bottom on theirs. Alright everyone, so it is now Wednesday and I finally have some time to go ahead and build a coroplast base for the girls' cage right here. I thought a lot about it and I really enjoy being able to see the girls' feet from the front as they like walk around. So I'm gonna make the front coroplast barrier only like 1.5 inches tall, just so that I can see into their cage better, because with making it like 4 inches tall, I don't feel like I can actually see them very well, especially when I'm sitting on the floor. So I want to make it a little bit shorter, and then I'll make the one in the back the regular height, and then I'll also make it higher around their litter box area. But it's gonna take me a lot of coroplast. I had to buy 2 large sheets of coroplast in order to have enough to get the length of this cage, since it's 10 feet long, and the longest sheet of coroplast is only 8 feet long. So I did have to buy 2 sheets of coroplast, and hopefully I can get this all done tonight. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with cutting, the scoring, just basically building the coroplast base for this cage.
All right, so here I just have all of the grids that were up on the table. So I just took those down and put the girls in a playpen so I could use these grids with the coroplast to build the base. And I had already scored the back part of the cage 14 inches high to get the coroplast to fit in my car. And here I am starting to score the front side. So I measured 28 inches wide on the coroplast and then scored the front. And then here I am just sliding it into my grids to make sure that it will fit properly. And then here I am just using a pen to mark how high I want the front side to be, so I can flip over the coroplast and then use scissors to cut down the front side to be that 1.5 inches that I really wanted. Now it is time to make the other side of the cage that is going to be 14 inches tall, because in this corner is where the litter box will be. So I just used a sheet of coroplast in order to write a straight line, and then I scored along that line, flipped it over and cut so that I could fold it up and make sure that it was the right height that I wanted. Now that I knew it was the right height on the side, I had to cut down some of the back because I didn't want it to be 14 inches across the entire back, only near the portion where the litter box was going to be. So here I'm deciding how far the litter box will come out, cutting down and then cutting across across here, and I made the back about 4.5 inches tall. Now it was time to work with my second sheet of coroplast, which was going to be easier than the first. All I had to do was cut it how long I thought I would need. So I just did the math and took about half of this coloplast sheet and just cut it off so I could work with a smaller piece. Once I had cut off the piece that I needed, all I had to do was create a back that was 4.5 inches high and a front that was 1.5 inches high, and make sure it was the proper 28-inch width. So I sort of just laid it on top of my other piece that was already cut and used those sides as a guide to make sure that it would be as identical as possible. So I just lined it up and then figured out which part of the coroplast was going to be the most accurate and sliced along there to score it. And then after I had scored it, I just flipped it over and figured out the height of the walls that I needed and cut off any excess. And then I just used some duct tape and I taped up the sides of the coroplast that I needed so that it would form the walls. And then once I had finished duct taping, I just took my grids and started lining them up around my 2 sheets of coroplast. Since I wasn't able to use connectors because I was using 2 different types of grids, I did punch holes through my coroplast and zip tie almost every single one of these grids to the coroplast so that the entire cage would stay in place. And then where the coroplast ended up overlapping, I just used duct tape to tape that down. The video is going to cut out here so you guys won't be able to see the entire construction, but basically I am just doing this over and over, zip tying the grids together and then zip tying them to the coroplast. And here's a more close-up view of how I zip tied each and every intersection of the grids to the coroplast. This stopped the grids from pushing out because a lot of times, since there is no connectors holding them straight, they want to push out. So these zip ties really just prevent them from doing that. All right, here is what the finished cage looks like. I am so pleased with it. And you can see over here, I have this little loft that is 2 grids wide and 1 grid long. And this just looks so amazing and I can't wait to have it in the room. All right, next up, it was time to build the cage for my 2 boys. And what the plan was here was I already have this cage right here, which is 2 feet by 4 feet. This was Honey's old cage when she lived by herself. So my plan is just to take down the side wall and then I'm going to just expand the cage to be longer. Alright, so the first thing that I'm doing here is just using my scissors to remove the duct tape that was holding these corners together. And then I'm pulling in my second sheet of coroplast. And you can't see right here, but I am scoring the back of the cage, which is going to be 14 inches tall. And then I am just putting it against the other one to figure out where I need to score for the front side of the cage. And then once I have the front side completely scored here, I am just making sure that these 2 pieces are going to fit together well. And then I measured how long the cage was to determine how many grids I could use. I figured out that I could use 7 CNC grids, and then the right side would just have to be a little bit shorter of a side. So here I am just cutting and scoring the right edge of the cage. So I'm just using the sheet of coroplast to draw a straight line so that I am able to score straight for the right side of the cage. It's a little bit harder to score against the direction of the coroplast, but I managed to make it work. And then I flipped the coroplast back over, and then I decided to cut off the front end here so that the front would all be the same height. So I just cut off that excess coroplast. And the next step is basically just to finish constructing the cage. So I wiped down all of the dirty coroplast so that it wouldn't smell like any of my other pigs that had been in this cage. And then I just used a ton of duct tape to attach the 2 pieces of coroplast together. And I did want the right side of the cage to be as tall as the left side, so I took this extra piece of coroplast and just used a ton of duct tape to secure it to the corner so that when I put the litter box here, the hay will not spill fill out the sides of the cage. Next up, I just had to attach all of the grids to the cage. So I just used zip ties to attach my grids to each other. And then I also used zip ties to attach every other grid intersection to the coroplast, which is what I had done on my other cage, which you guys just saw. This one I only did every other grid because the grids weren't pushing out forward quite as much as they were on the trios cage. And here you guys go. This is the finished cage for my two boys. And now it is just time to get it into the room and show you guys what my new guinea pig room looks like.
All right, everyone, here is the room. It's finally all finished and I can't wait to give you guys a little tour of everything. So first off, this is my trios cage. You guys have seen it before, but now it has this nice coroplast bottom on it. And they also have this loft over here, which actually came with my new boy's cage, but I was afraid he would try to use it to hop out, so I gave it to the girls. They have this little area that they like to lay up here, and then they also have the underneath, and I use this little fleece forest here. This is from Fur Baby Fleece. I used this to cover the loft and the underneath and just make it sort of like a nice dark area, and also so they can't like jump on the loft and then jump out because the fleece forest is covering it. And this is just their cage. I am really enjoying the 1-inch front sides. It really allows me to be able to see them better. And sometimes, yeah, the poo and the hay does fly out, but there is usually poo and hay. There's literally one right there. I just cleaned and there's still a poo down there. So there's usually poo and hay all over the ground anyway, so I figured I might as well be able to see them. And then on this wall over by the door, this is where my desk is. And then I just have their herb jars up here as well. And then above the girls' cage is where I have these signs. I still need to get a sign for my new boy, but here I have signs for mostly all of my pigs. They just are little drawings, little paintings that look just like them. And if you guys are interested in some of these signs, they are from Lil Dash of Daisy on Etsy, and I actually do have a discount code for you guys. So I'll leave a link in the description, but you can use the code autumn10 for 10% off if you want some of these signs. She also has ones for hamsters and bunnies, but I think they just look so cute right here on this wall. And like I said, I still need one more for my new boy, but I'll make sure to order him one soon. And then over here is Honey and Sage's cage. So this cage didn't change much. It was the same cage I built for them after they bonded. So it just looks like this, nothing super exciting, just a 2x5. And then underneath is my new boy's cage. So here's my new boy right here. I just spent over 3 days bonding these boys. So that video will be out next if you guys are interested in what I did and why it took 3 days and what happened in those 3 days and what I did to finally get them to bond. That video will be out next, but this is their cage. It is 24 inches by a little less than 7 grids because I had to have it overlap here. So it's about 16 square feet, and they have 2 litter boxes because they're boys and I don't want them to fight over the litter box, and 2 little tunnels. Since they're recently bonded, I just did 2 tunnels, and it seems to be working out great for them. I have like a little water hay area on both sides of the cage, and this seems to be working great. And the cage was really hard to fit under this table. We had to like lift up the entire table to slide it under, but I think it looks really good, and I am super pleased with the way it came out. And I like that I have the back as all coroplast because I have all those cords back there, so that way I don't have to worry about the cords. And I gave them a little lamp here as well so it's not so dark under here during the day. And then Over under these tables is sort of where I have my storage. I still need to figure out exactly how I want to organize it and what I want to put right here. But I have some extra grids back here, my hay bin. These are my pea pads, my like small pea pads. And these are my large ones that go underneath my fleece, miscellaneous guinea pig stuff. And then my rolling trash can with a lid that locks. This thing saves me so much just because it keeps all of the smell of the old poo, the old hay. It keeps the smell tucked away since it's like locking, and then it rolls, which is really nice, so I can just roll it away when I'm not using it. Over here on this little wall between my door and my closet, I was trying to hang a shelf here and I haven't finished that yet. But I did hang this little shower thing. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it here, but it can like hold some of their oxbow treat, and then also my dustpan, and then my vacuum charges down here, and this is my air purifier. And then I also recently added this contact paper to the top of this little stand because it was looking really grimy and gross, and I just needed to cover it up, so I cleaned it off. And then I put this contact paper on top, and I'm really enjoying the way it looks. It looks super clean. I have more of this paper, so I might see if I have other stuff I want to put this on, but I really like the way that it came out. And then I just have miscellaneous connectors and stuff in here, and then more miscellaneous stuff, and then my Wi-Fi router's at the bottom. And then this is my jug of white vinegar for when I do laundry. But yeah, this is what the room looks like, and I am so happy with it. Everyone has so much space, and I'm so glad I got my boys to bond. Like I said, that video will be coming out about my new boy. He's right there, and about how I bonded him with waffles. That should be my next video, so stay tuned for that. But yes, I love this room so much, and I'm so pleased with the way it came out. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below and subscribe to see more about all of my pigs and to see that bonding video when it comes out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.